Yeah, thanks. Thanks for having me. For those that have no idea who I am, and I hope that's a lot of you, my name is Michel Bouman. I have the privilege to lead the solution specialist for Teams Rooms at Microsoft for the EMEA region. And I have about 15 minutes, but I only want to speak for like 5, and then I would love to take your questions because I know it's sometimes difficult to work with Microsoft directly. So feel free to reach out and then ask your questions, whatever you want to talk about. Is that okay? Okay, yeah, good stuff. Okay, good stuff. First of all, thanks everyone for the great partnership. I think both TD Synnex and the partners of TD Synnex that we have here at the booth today. It's been an exciting year, I think, for Teams Rooms. Major growth, I think 9 months in a row, triple-digit growth for Teams Rooms, which I think is pretty amazing. And I think we're right on the first steps of a new chapter, I think, in the Teams Rooms ecosystem where the Pro AV market was really driving this market hard. I think we're going to come to a place where more the IT kind of partner is going to come in. And I was on a roundtable last week with some of these Pro AV partners. They were saying it's becoming more difficult for them to make money with Teams Rooms. But I think if you look at the partner ecosystem that TD6 has, you understand how IT works, you understand how the Microsoft 365 part of the house works, right? So I think it's a big opportunity for you to move into these smaller and medium-sized rooms, where we'll have the biggest opportunity, I think, going forward. We've launched a lot of interesting features, I think, over the past few months. I think everyone has heard of Copilot by now. I'm forced to use the word Copilot at least 5 times every session that I'm on, so that was number one to start with. But it's going to fundamentally change how we all work. I think we still see 2 big trends in the EMEA right now. One of the biggest trends is still around hybrid work, working from home, call it whatever you want to call it. If we look at the region here, we're expecting that only about 35% of the people will go back to the office, meaning that a lot of people will continue to work from home, but also 2 out of 3 meetings will have at least one virtual participant. Right? And the opportunity we have is to make those meetings truly inclusive and immersive. And that's where Teams Rooms comes in. Because if you want to have a truly immersive and inclusive meetings, there are 3 pillars that are very important. The first one is being able to hear each other, hear and be heard. And that's where good audio comes in. We could have this without me standing here, you would have the audio, and you would be able to follow the conversation. If I would be standing here and the mic is not working, it's very difficult. It's very difficult for us to connect, right? So audio is key. The second one is see and be seen. And that's not just about just us being able to see each other. It's about us being able to pick up nonverbal communication. In our communication as human beings, that nonverbal part is taken account of, I think, about 80% of all of our communication. That's the most important one. Right? So being able to see each other and pick up that nonverbal is the second pillar that's important. The third pillar that's important is being able to collaborate. And that's where Teams comes in. I think the market share, especially here in the region, is very high. I won't mention the number, it's very high. Right? And that's something that we can leverage as well when we go to market and start selling Teams Rooms. So if you can tick those 3 boxes, hear and be heard, see and be seen, and being able to collaborate, that's where you can drive through immersive meetings. There's still a lot of BYOD in the market, right? People bringing in your own device. That's not the ideal scenario for a meeting room, and I'll give you 2 examples why it's not the ideal scenario. Scenario 1 from a user perspective, and you've all been here. You walk into a meeting room with your laptop, and there's this bundle of cables sitting on the table. The nerds, and I recognize the nerds, we all recognize each other because I'm a nerd as well, yes, right? Rob's waving, thank you, Robert. We think we know how to work these rooms, but many people don't. Right, so 2 laptops a year break because somebody's trying to push an HDMI cable into a USB port, which sounds outrageous, but that's what's happening. Right, also a user is struggling to find the right cable to connect, and then nobody wants to give up their laptop because everybody's scared that some private information will be shared on that display. The second part is from an IT perspective. So I speak to many customers and I ask them, how many rooms do you have? And they often don't have the answer. So I ask them, what kind of equipment do you have in those rooms? And they know which equipment they've purchased from TD Synnex or from TD Synnex partners. Next question I asked, are the devices working? We don't know. Are they up to date? We have no idea. Are they still there? They often don't know. Right, so when you get to your hotel rooms tonight, go on eBay and see how many Logitech Brios are currently being offered, or iPads are currently being offered on eBay. And that's not because people are not using them anymore, it's because people are stealing them from the offices. Right, so both from an IT perspective and a user perspective, bring your own device is not the way to go. Native is the way to go. And I think this group here that we have here is the ideal group to really scale deeper into these customers. Don't just focus on the big enterprises. We all want to have those logos, but start focusing on the corporates and the SMBs as well. They're used to using technology, and you have the right partners, I think, to move this ecosystem forward. So with that, I would like to say thank you for your great partnership, and let's go into a little bit of a Q&A. Any questions? Thank you. Yeah. Any questions? That's what I'm here for. What about Copilot? Murat's asking, what about Copilot? Well, what about it, right? How many what? How many pilots do you need? Let me tell you about, so we've all seen the marketing fluff when it comes to Copilot. And I think the videos look amazing. I think our marketing department has done an amazing job when it comes to Copilot. How I use it in my daily life is I'm good with numbers in Excel. I'm good with numbers, but I'm really bad with creating those visualizations. I never know where to search for them. Either on the insert, is it under data? Then I go to YouTube to figure out how I do the visualizations. This is why nonverbal is important. To look up how do I do it, the visualizations, and now what I do is just go to Copilot and I say, hey, what are the most important insights from this data table right here, and visualize them for me in a new tab. And within 5 seconds, I have my visualizations right there. Every day when I start my day, I ask Copilot, list all my meetings of the day, and then add 2 to 3 bullets per meeting. And with that, add what I need to know about this meeting, and then add all the most important documents that belong to this meeting as well. Within 5 seconds, I have a full overview and I'm ready to start my day. When I get that long email that has 5, 6 different emails, and the first one reads, at Michel Bouman, do you have the answer to this? And I need to search for what the question is, and there are 4 or 5 questions there, and 2 of them have halfway been answered already. I just ask Copilot to summarize the email for me, and it gets summarized. The big opportunity, I think now for TD Synnex, but also for TD Synnex partners, is to look at data governance. If your data governance is not in order, Copilot will expose it. We've had customers in that early adopter program that said, oh, we're getting information from documents that shouldn't be accessible. Well, that means they've been open all the while. Right? So the opportunity now where you can make money is to make sure that the data governance of your customer's customer are in order. That's where everybody can make a bunch of money right now. And then the next step is to make sure that people buy the license. Right? And the ROI on that is pretty easy. If we look at the, is that your job? Yeah, Jonas? Yeah? Good. If we look at the ROI, the first calculation from the early results that we have from our insider program is that the ROI is about 180%. But that's people just using it in their first couple of weeks that are not fully used to using Copilot yet, right? It's already really high. I think as a team, Rob, I'm looking at you now while you're having lunch. I think we save about 45 minutes a day using Copilot, right? So that's quite a lot. So step 1, data governance. Step 2, sell the license, and then step 3 is adoption. Start teaching customers how to use Copilots. Start teaching them how to prompt. I'll give you a basic prompting example. If you would go to any GPT now that's connected to a large language model, whether it's Copilot or it's a ChatGPT or whatever you might use, if you ask it to create a marketing plan, it'll give you a marketing plan. But if you tell it, hey, I'm a small business, I focus on customer X, these are the channels that I'm using, this is the budget that I have, this is what I want to accomplish. Now create me a marketing plan, and before you give me any answers, ask questions first. And it'll ask you 5, 6 questions. After that, you'll get a solid marketing plan, right? So the prompt is very important. We call that part grounding. We do part of that grounding in the Microsoft Cloud already. So when you ask a question to Copilot for Microsoft 365, we'll push that prompt to what we call the graph, which is the data layer, nerds know, data layer underneath Microsoft 365. We'll ground it and make the prompt better, and then we'll send it to the large language model and then send it back. But being able to prompt really well is key, right? So step 1, get data governance in order. Step 2, sell the license. And then step 3 is make sure you take care of adoption. Hope that answers your question. Yeah? Good, good. Any other questions? Go ahead. Tell us about the licensing part of Copilot or Rooms. Both. So Copilot for 365 license is easy. It's one license and you can add it to any subscription you already have. Right? So if you have a business license, you can now sell Copilot with a business license. It used to be only M365 E3 and up. Now it's also Office 365 up and all the business queues. Right? So that's easy. The Rooms part is easy as well. There are 2 licenses though. There's the basic license, which gives you 25 rooms and basic functionality for free. There's no money for you to be made there though. And I just heard at another session, nobody wants a basic friend. Everybody wants a pro friend. Right? So the real money being made is on the pro license. And the pro license gives you all the intelligent features that we have in Microsoft Teams. Yep, so Copilot, one license, sell it with any SKU that's already there. They need to have Office 365 or Microsoft 365. And then with Rooms, basic license, forget about it. Have a pro friend and sell pro. Yep. Any other questions? It's a quiet room. I'm not used to that from your team. Oh, now 3 people start to raise their hand. Go ahead.
Can you tell me your view on the signature rooms for Microsoft and how to best position this as a channel partner?
Yes, so Sven is asking, can you tell me about signature rooms and how to position that best as a Microsoft partner? So for those that are unaware, we have a place in Redmond called The Hive. It's where we invent meeting rooms. Sounds kind of corny, but that's what it is. So you have people walking around with cardboards and trying to figure out what's the best shaped table, what should the placement of the camera be, etc., etc. One, I think, you know what an escape room is? Yeah, okay. Many meeting rooms are now like escape rooms. It takes 50 minutes for people to figure the room out and then they have to leave. That's what you don't want. Again, you want the room to be easy. You want the meeting to be easy. So you want to walk in, push that one button and start the meeting. That means that video, audio, display, mics all need to be set up correctly. And this is where signature rooms come in. I think as you scale more into the depth and breadth of your channel, right, those signature rooms are gonna help you to standardize. Because what I truly believe in, and we're not talking about the more complicated boardrooms and such, because they require more work. But I do sincerely think that the small and medium-sized rooms should be a McDonald's model. So you have a small, a medium, and a super-sized offer that you have in market, and you sell it as such. Right? So you sell the bundle with the camera and the display and the compute and the table. So work with a furniture manufacturer, right? And you sell the room. So sell the full room. So take the pictures that we have at Microsoft and take all the AV drawings that we can offer to TD Synnex and their partners, right? And then leverage those to make it easy for you to sell and deploy these rooms. But I think that's a big opportunity. It is important though that you make sure that the rooms are fitted out correctly, because a shitty experience for a customer means that we won't sell more rooms, right? So use those signature rooms to make that sell easier. I think we had a question in the back.
About Copilot in meeting rooms, you talked about Copilot for personal workspace.
Yes.
But what will AI bring to the meeting room?
So Copilot in the meeting rooms. What will Copilot bring to the meeting room? More and more cameras will have both intelligent audio and intelligent video. If the 4 of us would be in a meeting right now and I would be dialing in virtually, it would be ideal for me to see who's speaking. Right? Who's speaking? So I would see a name label. That's one. That's where intelligent video comes in. Then in the subscription, I would like to, or in the description, I would like to see the individuals who spoke during that meeting. So we'll be able to identify individuals during that meeting as they speak. That's where Copilot is going to come in. Right? So now we can see, oh, Julian said X, and Murat said Y. And then later you can ask questions about it as well. So previously you could only ask what was said in the room, and you would get one answer for everyone. And now you can ask, what did Murat say in this meeting room, and then what action points do we have, etc., etc. So you'll give people a distinct voice in that meeting room. That's how we bring Copilot intelligence into the meeting space. Make sense?
Surface Hub 3, I think, especially for Surface Hub 3.
Yeah, so Service Hub 3. So Service Hub is now a Microsoft Teams Zooms on Windows, which we think is very exciting because we finally have a board coming into the WeNots ecosystem. So for those that are not interested in having a board on Zoom, um, that's all right, I forgive you. No, I get it. Yeah, be provocative. Gets the people going. So if you want to have a board on Windows, yeah, you picked it. You got it. Good. Good. If you want to have a board on Windows, Service Hub 3 is the way to go. It gives you all the intelligence of a Service Hub, and it gives you the security of what Windows is offering you. So I think it's the best of both worlds if you get it with this one device. There are three ways for your customer. Hang on this. There are three ways for your customer to take advantage of this. One, wait for the software upgrade. They will not get a spec upgrade, no money for you to be made there. Two, buy the cartridge. They can buy that from you, and they can upgrade their 2S with the software of the 3. Or then 3, which is best for all of us, is they buy a new Service Hub 3S through us. We will announce more features. There's going to be one standout feature that is only available on Service Hub 3, which I can't talk about today, but might be a good one to ask to Ilya or Frank at 4 p.m. at the Microsoft booth when we do the Q&A with them. It's above my pay grade to talk about. So. Any other questions?
Michel,
Yes.
last year we were here and we're doing the front row session.
Yes.
There was a lot about the front row. How is that evolving right now?
So last year, last year we did. So it was actually the second year where we spoke about front row. First year we were here, we spoke about front row, and we had people in our booth, and all the customers said, "We don't want the camera, we don't really want the furniture, we want the room, right? We wanted the full setup." Go back to what I said earlier about see and be seen, hear and be heard, right? Front row gives you the option to create that eye gaze. And again, eye gaze is important. I use this example all the time. If you go and watch your favorite series this afternoon or this evening when you get to the hotel, when the director wants you to feel the connection with the actor and actresses, they always film the eyes. Right? If they don't want you to be a participant in the scene, but want you to be a spectator, they'll film you from afar or above. Right? So that's where front row comes in. You have everybody at the front row, and you'll be able to create that eye gaze between people. Now there's more intelligence coming into this, so we removed all the backgrounds of the people, so you have one unified black background, which makes people stand out more. We've equaled the height of all the speakers, which I think is very important because sometimes somebody would be really large and the other person would be really small. So we fixed that part, and then we added spatial audio to it. So you might say, why is spatial audio important? So what spatial audio does is it leverages the left and right stereo channel. Right, so if somebody from the left, if Bas would be speaking, the audio would come from this side, and if Yunus would be speaking, the audio would be coming from the right side. That's what spatial audio is. It helps our brain to focus better. So when you have a conversation here at the booth, even though there's a lot of talk around us, you can have a one-to-one with conversation with someone. That's because of the way the audio hits our ear and our brain processes audio, and that's why spatial audio is important. So spatial audio now also available in front row. We're seeing more and more scenarios where customers are using front row because they want to create that meeting quality. Last question maybe? No? Thank you. Have a great ISE. Enjoy.